You and your friends sit down for the exact same salmon bowl. Same portion, same clean ingredients, and depending on the bacteria living in your gut right now, your body can extract and store those calories as stubborn belly fat, whilst hers doesn't. And what if the reason your body has been holding onto the weight for the past 10 years is never about discipline? It's about an ecosystem inside you no one has ever taught you to feed. And the most effective thing you can do for sustainable fat loss is not eat less, it's shift the ecosystem. And you can do this within 24 hours, just with what you eat. And something I call the meta reset. META. It's not a metaphor, it's documented gut microbiome science. And it means every calorie counting app you've ever downloaded has been missing single most important variable in your body. Your gut microbes are not passengers, they're shareholders. And they vote on every metabolic decision your body makes. So if you're a woman who gains weight just by looking at a muffin and you try to eat clean and the weight just still doesn't budge, this video explains why, and more importantly, what to actually help fix it, and that's the gut metabolism connection. So today I'm going to show you what it is, the best science supported foods to flip it in your favor so your body starts working for you and not against you. And stick around to the end to learn exactly what you could be doing that is keeping your switch stuck in the off position. I'm Leilani, I'm a university trained clinical nutritionist and I'm a chef. And I'm helping real people turn gut science into real results. So section 1, let's talk about the gut metabolism switch. Because first you need to understand a bit about your metabolism and your gut health and why they are so connected, more than almost anything I see in clinical practice. And don't go anywhere because this is really a game changer. And I'm going to simplify this because the gut microbiome is truly so complex. Inside your gut, there are two dominant bacterial families, Firmicutes and Bacteroidetes. You can think of them like two teams with completely different jobs. Firmicutes are highly efficient calorie harvesters. They extract maximum energy from everything that passes through your gut. Now, Bacteroidetes is far less aggressive. Those guys let more pass through and they produce compounds that actually support your metabolism. So which one's better to have as a dominant? Well, when your Firmicutes to Bacteroidetes ratio is skewed towards Firmicutes, and that can be by ultra-processed food, excess alcohol, chronic stress, antibiotics, low-fiber diet, your gut becomes more efficient at pulling energy from food. It sounds like a good thing. It isn't if you're looking at the metabolism factor, because it means your metabolism shifts into a pattern that makes weight harder to manage. And that's even if you're eating clean. And this is why two women can eat the identical foods and get completely different results on the scale. Firmicutes Bacteroidetes balance is like a scoreboard. Tells you which way things are going to tip, but the score is highly influenced by specific players. And there's a handful of key bacterial species that actually do some heavy lifting here. And if you feed the right players, the scoreboard shifts in your favor. And we'll meet them really soon. And I'll tell you exactly what they eat to boost their numbers. And here's the part that matters the most. That balance is not fixed. Your gut microbiome is one of the most responsive systems in the whole body. You can genuinely start to shift it in 24 hours just with food. So let's talk about the foods that switches your gut microbiome metabolism switch on. And I've grouped them into 4 simple steps. And because I love making it easy for you, it spells META. M, microbiome. E, ecosystem. T, transform. A, action. These are 4 levers. You don't have to do them all. In fact, I say don't do them all. Start with one that works best for your life. So M, microbiome. This means feed the short chain fatty acid producers. Remember those star species I mentioned? Here they are. Prospira, Eubacterium, Fecalibacterium, Presnotzii. Who names these? It's so difficult. Anyway, these are your gut metabolism switch species, or some of them, some of the big players. And what they produce is that short chain fatty acid, particularly butyrate. This is the closest thing your gut has to a master reset button. It directly supports your body's ability to burn fat rather than store it. To produce butyrate, the bacteria need fiber, and more specifically, resistant starch and prebiotic fiber. So these foods that feed them are flaxseed, onions, oats, garlic, slightly green underripe bananas, pomegranate, green tea, turmeric, fermented foods like yogurt and kefir and sauerkraut. Also, you'll be happy to know that a quality cheese that's aged also delivers butyrate. It's one of the few foods actually that contains it preformed. Just have small amounts, it's gotta be good quality cheese. And I have a whole video on the best cheese for gut health. I'll link it here, just in case you want to watch it. And if you want a cool noodle swap that feeds the right bacteria rather than spiking your blood sugar, go for konjac noodles. They're made from glucomannan. It's a type of fiber, and it genuinely feeds the short chain fatty acid producing species. It does take a little bit of getting used to, but you can hide it in foods, and I've got recipes on my channel about it. Just make sure you wash it really well, and you'll know why when you open the pack. Tell me out there, has anybody cooked with konjac noodles? What is your favorite recipe? Let's share this together. Now, if those above foods mentioned are actually making you more bloated right now, stick around because towards the end, I will explain what's happening. Let's move on to E for ecosystem. You're going to restore Akkermansia. This one lives in the mucus layer of your gut wall, and it keeps it thick and it keeps it sealed. You can think of her like a bouncer on the door of your gut lining. When Akkermansia levels drop, that lining thins out, hunger signals start to misfire, and inflammation moves in. And the research is genuinely exciting. A 2026 randomized control trial in Nature Medicine took people who just lost weight and gave them Akkermansia. Placebo group regained around 3 kilos, but the Akkermansia group, barely 1 kilo. So that's a huge difference from one tiny bacterium. So look after your Akkermansia at dinner table. Add a small amount of pomegranate, you can get it frozen, cranberry, dark chocolate, green tea, even a little red wine in small doses can help. It's those deep colors, they're rich in polyphenols and they feed the bouncer. Okay, moving on. T, transform. We want to shift the Firmicutes Bacteroidetes ratio. These are the major league players, yeah? And those teams support fat metabolism. And you find them in plant fibers, not just one, different types, yeah? Colored vegetables, legumes, whole grains, seeds. Plant diversity is consistently shown to be one of the strongest single predictors of a healthy gut diverse microbiome. So what you want to do is aim for 30 different plants a week. I know it sounds like a lot, but hear it out. That can look like mixed salad leaves, different colored fruits, handful of mixed seeds on your yogurt, some spices. It actually adds up a lot faster than you think. Now, lastly, one of the most important sections, because A is for action, and you need to reduce the inflammatory load because you cannot flip a switch when the power is out. These daily disaster foods might be the very thing keeping you stuck. So the ultra-processed food, the excess alcohol, the high omega-6 seed oils like canola. It's not because one meal is bad. You could definitely have cheat days. It's just chronic daily exposure of these keeps feeding dysbiosis. That imbalance in your gut microbiome keeps the Firmicutes elevated and keeps your Akkermansia depleted. Now, I know this can feel like a lot, right, on top of your already busy week. So if you just want a roadmap with everything done for you, the meals, the shopping list, the 4-day work week menu, snacks, all built around the top science-backed ingredients that drive the shift that you need internally, that's what I put together. And remember I said earlier that some of the foods might be bloating you. They're really common: onion, beans, things like that. If you react to a lot of foods, including healthy ones, this is a sign that something deeper is usually going on. And when your gut is already inflamed, piling on more prebiotic and resistant starch can actually make it worse. You really need a proper gut reset before. I see this in clinic all the time. It needs a structured plan. So if that sounds like you, the link is in the description below. Go and check it out. So remember, this isn't about perfection. When your ecosystem is restored, your body becomes more resilient. So those cheat days, that glass of wine on a Friday, doesn't derail a healthy gut, but a chronically inflamed, depleted one will barely survive a Tuesday. So please don't try doing all 4 layers at once. It's the fastest way to feel overwhelmed and just quit by the weekend. Just introduce one thing at a time. So that might look like adding a fermented food. Maybe that's a spoon of sauerkraut with dinner, a good live yogurt with breakfast, a shot of kombucha. Just do that for the next week or month. Once that feels a bit organic to you, you can then start to add maybe resistant starch. So you cook your rice or your potatoes the night before, let them cool. Then you can start building the plant diversity. And you might start to swap out the canola oil for extra virgin olive oil. This is how you genuinely flip that switch. And look, if today's video helped you, do me a small favor. Hit the like, drop me a comment below. I love hearing from you, and it genuinely helps my channel reach more people who have been blaming themselves for their weight when it's actually not their fault. Now we're in this together. So until next time, guys, love your guts.